So I got the thing sitting in here. I threw together a double drive line using an H yoke from a Jeep front drive shaft, because it originally was a single drive line, so it just had one U-joint. You can't really see it for shit, but so I just put an H yoke in there to make it a double U-joint drive line. I don't know, that's just what I'm familiar with. The couple jet boats I've had, and pretty much most of them I've ever seen, are double drive line. For some reason this one was single, but it was an old boat that it came out of. It came with the pump, so it's just kind of sitting on wood right now because I was worried about cracking the oil pan or something. So it's not sitting exactly where it's gonna sit. So we had it in there hanging and had it lined up pretty well. The reason I wanted to get it down in here is so I could measure from the bottom of these plates down to, you know, where the base of the stringer is going to sit, and figure out the height of the stringer so I can get an idea what kind of material I want to use. I got most of the rest of the material to do, I think, this whole boat. We did a lot of measuring, and like the angle iron, a whole bunch of square tube to do all the framing in, the whole piece to reskin this entire transom. All that's ordered, and they'll probably have it cut by tomorrow, so I'll be able to start framing this thing up. And I knew the length of the stringer I wanted to go, but I didn't know height, so we almost had to just hang this thing in here roughly and to figure that out. But you can kind of get a general idea, you know, where this is pretty close to where it's going to sit, so you can see like where the exhaust is going to have to. You know, I get a better idea what I'm going to have to do with these. You know, you either try and do like a side rear corner exit type of thing, or these things can be clocked and they could be turned straight down, and you could have it coming out, you know, way down here, way below the water level when it's off plane. But then it would open up once the thing got up on the plane. So I mean, part of me wants it to be, you know, above waterline exhaust at when it's just sitting off plane, just because it just would sound like a little hot rod all the time. But I don't know if the novelty would wear off if I'd get tired of that, and I'd want it to be quiet at the dock, you know, just bubbling back here. So I don't know. I got to make up my mind how I want to do that exactly. But the fuel tanks, we kind of test fitted those on there. They're a lot longer than so they'll start, you know, somewhere back in here and travel up the sides of the boat. They fit the outside of the hull perfectly. And they came out of a completely different kind of boat, but they fit this boat just ideal. So they can travel a long ways up there and still be basically the very front of them will be underneath the bench seat, the base of the bench seat in the back. The motor sits a lot farther back than I thought it was going to sit. I mean, this isn't exactly where it's going to be, but that's pretty close. And I thought it was going to be a whole nother rib forward here. So, you know, we're looking at, I mean, basically, you leave yourself a little bit of room in between the bulkhead and the front of the motor here for serviceability, you know, changing belts and working on that fuel pump module, or you know, alternator's going to be down over here. You know, so you come a little bit in front of that, enough to be able to get in there to work. So, I mean, you can see it's a pretty good amount of interior space. Be a little tight with 4 people, like I was hoping. And we threw the windshield frame back on here. This is the one that came with the boat. except we slid it forward as far forward as we possibly could, just to, you know, like we were talking about, maybe actually cutting the where the dash sat forward. It wouldn't be hard to do, you know, just cut up into this and just move the whole thing forward. The downfall is the further forward you move the seats, the less foot room you're going to have up there. You're going to be sitting at like an angle. But I think, you know, I'd like it moved all the way forward. I don't know. It'd make the boat look kind of goofy, but I don't care what it looks like. I think it'll help maximize the space a little bit more. Maybe even if you don't even move the seats forward that much, you just have that much more room between you and the dash. Seems like it'd be a little more comfortable in here, but I don't know, I guess we'll see. But you know, with the fuel pump being right there, you'll have the pickup, which is that hose hanging off to the left of it, will have to come up here to probably pass through the bulkhead somewhere in here and go all the way up to the front of the base of the bench seat that's going to go across here in front of the bulkhead, and actually have the manual turn type gas tank switcher valve. I don't want to make it any more complicated than it needs to be. Just a simple, you know, it's sitting on the front of that seat support, and if you need to change the tanks, you just quickly turn around and you got a little knob you got to twist right here. So, and it'll come from there, and the pickups are on the obviously the very back corners of the tanks, and the fills are kind of right in the middle, and they're perfect. The width of the gunnel here to be able to come up and just put a fill on the top of each of these. So, but yeah, I'm going to have a lot more room and a lot more, I think, serviceability than I thought. So, the stringers are going to be a little taller than I thought they got. You know, they're probably going to have to be, and I still haven't made up my mind what material they actually use, but they're going to have to be 6, 7, 8 inches tall to be able to interfere with both of those plates. I figure if I make it tall enough to interfere with both of them, when you set the engine in there, it'll be high, obviously. It'll be misaligned, but it'll be high, and then you just slowly work those plates down on the bottom until it lines up, until you get it lined up. I don't know, I guess that's how people do that. I don't know. But it's very similar to doing like a rail kit in a fiberglass boat. You know, they put aluminum angle iron and through bolt it onto the wood stringers, and they kind of do the same thing. I'm assuming that's how they do it. But yeah, I mean that's about it. So here's where your electrical connection to the boat is going to be, and I was, do you come off of here and loop down underneath the exhaust and then come back up under the gunnel to travel up, or do you incorporate some kind of a tray of some kind and have the wiring just shoot right over top? I think it'd be nicer that way, but I guess that depends on what the surrounding framing looks like right here. You might be able to tie onto something. It'll only be, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 wires or whatever. So yeah, I think that's about it. I'm finally getting all the material I need. I should be able to start doing some welding, stiffening this thing up. So we'll have to pull the motor back out. I don't want to. I want to just leave it in there, but we'll have to pull it back out. So yeah, that'll probably about do it. I haven't got a whole lot done lately. I had a nice long vacation down in Punta Cana, so trying to get acclimated to shitty Michigan again here. So, yeah, till the next one. Thanks for watching.